All right, so let's get ready to knock out 14. First step is always I want to make sure that each inequality is in slope-intercept form. And I know it's in slope-intercept form. Well, what's by itself? That's right. Y is by itself. Now, I look at the sides. Remember, the inequality separates the sides. On this side, I have a 2x as well as a +3, keeping y from being by itself. We always deal with what's a space across, meaning like a sign between. So I'm dealing with this 2x. This 2x here is positive. When there's no sign there, it's positive. So we must subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. This cancels. Then I bring down my 3y. I also bring down my inequality sign. Now over here, 9 and minus 2x. Are they like terms? Definitely not. One has an x, one doesn't. So it's going to be 9 minus 2x. Then the next thing, we divide everything by 3. This cancels. We left with y. Still bring down that sign. Notice I didn't change the direction. Why is that? You're right. When you divide by positive, you don't change the sign. Only when you divide by negative do you change the sign. 9 divided by 3 is 3. In this one, we'll just leave that as a fraction. Does that make sense? So from here, I'm just going to put my x first with the sign to the left. So that's going to be negative 2x over 3. And then over here, we're going to have positive 3. Now, let's graph this. Go over to my calculator, make sure it's on, press y equals, clear out what's ever there, and I'm going to have negative 2x over 3. So I'm going to do negative 2x divided by 3 plus 3. And that's it. From there, I'm going to press second function and the graph button, and I get my points. Let me get that a little clearer, and I get the points. Cool. Now, when I'm plotting these points, I'm not going to plot any of the points which are going to have me these decimals. But what I want to do is I always want to get some negative and some positive. So I want to move up, and I got one negative point that I can use here was -3, +5. So I'm going to plot that. Go to the left, -1, -2, -3, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Let me count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be at one more, right? So let me get that out of there and right there. Cool. Also, forgot, but make sure we put our increments. We established that each box is worth 1. If you want to count all the points out, like 1, 2, 3, all the way, you sure can. You're going to get a bigger graph on your exam as well as on your regents. So then now, the next point I want to use, go down is 0, 3. So I'm going to use 0 in the middle, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then the next one I'm going to use is going to be 3, 1. So I'm going to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. Once you have 3 points, you can go ahead and use your straight edge to complete the graph. Now, what type of line am I going to have here? Solid or dashed? Dashed is correct. And we know it's dashed because there's no underline. So let's complete our line. Of course, you're doing this using your straight edge. Cool. Now, how are we shading? This reads y is less than. So we shading below. And also, if I drew the Pac-Man eating y? No. So we shade below. Only shade above when Pac-Man eats the y. Got it. So what's next? Next line. So I'm going to go 2y is greater than or equal to 4x plus 6. This one is interesting. A lot of people will look at this and they get tempted. They be thinking like, oh, okay, let me just subtract 4x on both sides. But that is not the way to proceed. You always got to ask yourself, what's keeping y from being by itself? If I look at y, the only thing on the same side as y is the 2. So I need to get rid of this 2, but this 2 is multiplied by y. So I do the inverse of that, which is division. So I'm dividing by 2 here, dividing by 2 here, and I'm dividing by 2 there. That's going to cancel to give me a 1. I'm left with y. Greater than or equal to 4x divided by 2 is 2x. Plus 6 divided by 2 is going to be plus 3. Let's get ready to graph that. Over here, X that out. Go to my y equals. I'm going to clear this out, and I'm going to put in 2x plus 3. So click on 2, then my x, then my plus, then my 3. Then I'm going to go to second function, table. Got it. Get that see a little bit clearer. And there we go. These are the points we're plotting. I'll go with -4, -5, -1, 2, 3, 4, and then -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Then the next one I'm going to do after that is I'm going to skip 1. I'm going to do -2, -1. So we're going to go -1, -2, -1. I'm just spreading out my points on this one. Then I'm going to skip another one and go 0, 3. So I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. Lands right there. And then I'm going to skip another one, go 2, 7. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. I got more than enough points. What type of line am I going to have? Well, based on this, I'm going to have what type of line? Solid. Got the underline, I got the solid. So let me throw that in there. Of course, you're using your straight edge while you're creating that. Don't forget your arrows on both ends. Okay. Now, how am I going to shade? Y is greater than. Greater than means I shade above. Or I could have drew Pac-Man. Pac-Man eating the Y, I'm shading above. And clearly we can see our solution right here, the double shaded area. So let's answer this. Determine if the point 0, 3 is a solution to the system of inequalities. Justify your answers. So I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. This right here is right at the border of the double shaded area. And it's on a solid line as well as a dash line. What does that mean? Well, it means it's not a solution. So I would say 0, 3 is not a solution. Because it's on a dashed line and does not satisfy both inequalities. And that's it. You got it. 14 all done. See you on the next one.